Dire team's turn to ban.
Here we go, game 2, Mr. Dogysamich. We've got Dinosaurchestra and invisibility equals invincibility once again.
Yes, we do. Game 2, coming off of that really powerful game 1. I won't go as far as to say it was a complete stomp because invisibility equals invincibility was starting to show a little bit of life at the end. They were able to repel off a few sieges that most would have thought were impossible, but it wasn't enough to silence the Dinosaurchestra. And it looks like in game 2, II is deciding that one of the big problems that they had was indeed the Timber Saw, and they're going to just wipe that clean out of the game. Say they don't want to see anything in the best of 2.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, as we go into it, this is, as a reminder for people tuning in, this is the Echo League. This is an amateur Dota 2 league, and this is the Division A series. And I think this is the first appearance of Dinosaurchestra and Invis equals Invince across the whole thing for the tournament.
Yeah, I think you're correct, yes.
Yeah. But not the first time that we've seen Dinosaurchestra play together, though. So a nice, ability for Dogysamich and myself to be able to check in on these guys as players. But regardless, Centaur banned out by Dinosaurchestra this game.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, last game they had first pick, the Dinosaurchestra did, and they took the Slardar. So maybe they're thinking that if they leave, they'll probably take Slardar again if it was left, which is what they had the axe. They were thinking if they were to leave Centaur, it would possibly be used against them this game. So they figured they'd take that off the table and probably go with another route for attack.
I can see that.
But that being said, they did take the Slardar. Slardar is so good. He's just so good. And how do you not pick Slardar against the team that prides invisibility, has it on the helm ship of their name?
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, it's got to make you feel sad.
5 seconds remaining.
That's all I can say. I would feel sad, probably. Is that appropriate feeling for this situation?
Yeah, we can go with that.
Okay, cool. So we're into the reserve time for Invis equals Invince, and they've got the double pickup potential here. Any sort of shenanigan we could maybe see? The Shadow Demon Luna, perhaps?
I don't know about Shadow Demon Luna. I mean, it's still an option, but it's not like one of the more prevalent things right now. It's something that you have to pick specifically against, but they take an Oracle. They like these really interesting first picks. Last game, it was the Phoenix first pick in their duo. This time, it's the Oracle. What do you have to say about this?
Well, they can use Oracle to purge off the corrosive haze.
10 seconds remaining.
Aside from that, I'm not sure.
5 seconds remaining.
If their Oracle player can be a baller with how he lands these heal combos, and he uses his Fortune's End in conjunction with the Fate's Edict appropriately.
Yeah, I bet you're looking at
that's like, yeah, I totally am. Well, I mean, I said Fortune's End beforehand, but I forgot Fate's Edict. That's where it's going to kind of all happen, because with Fate's Edict, you can really screw up your team because you disarm them and give them magic immunity. Granted, if you got magic damage coming out, you don't want that to be on them, but if you've got physical damage coming out, it's okay. And so, using it both offensively and defensively is going to be something that is going to be specific to Oracle for having to worry about.
Yeah, generally speaking, if you pick a support against a Slardar, Oracle is an okay idea because whoever Slardar goes on when he has a Nake's Bomb combo and stuff like that, you could save with the with the False Promise. Excuse me. You got me. But normally you would see a Dazzle, which serves the safe purpose but gives you the armor from the Weave. So it's kind of interesting to see them go with the Oracle. Along with that, as we do see, there was an Ogre picked up as well as a Keeper of the Light.
10 seconds remaining.
You got anything to say, yay or nay, about either one of those picks?
Keeper of the Light. I like him. I think the mischance for Keeper of the Light is really where you're going to see the big strength of him as a hero. So I'd like to pick on most counts. I wonder if Dinosaurchestra is going to do something in the split push sort of direction where they're going to get extra value to the recall.
That is something they could do, yeah. or they can just use they can get a lot of money on the Keeper of Light, kind of in tune to what they did last game with their farming supports. Get an early Ags and 5-man behind Illuminate, or rather in front of Illuminate.
Dire team's
And with
turn
that
to
idea, invisibility equals invincibility, decide they want Sven.
This is a pretty strong tri-lane for Invis equals Invince if they were to run that defensively or aggressively. Yet Dinosaurchestra with a Coddle should be okay for going up against any sort of serious aggression, because the wave clear from him is going to be a really strong factor for these lanings.
Yeah, the wave clear.
Absolutely.
Illuminate. In the lane, you can kind of keep somebody at bay, especially like Ogre or Sven, low mana. Well, Sven, a very low mana hero. Keep him in check with an Illuminate.
Well, mana leak on both Sven and Ogre is going to be very helpful too, because Sven, pretty low mana pool, Ogre, okay mana pool, and we got my boy here, my boy Abaddon.
Now, here's the first thing that arises from this. If you look at all of these picks, this is this looks like an off-lane bad Don Deezy. How you feel about that?
That's where he should be.
10 seconds
That is where he should be.
I totally agree.
So
5
you
seconds
can
remaining.
also dispel mana leak with the Aphotic Shield. So
Reserve
if
time.
Abaddon is going against, Coddle Lifestealer, for instance, he could always just self-throw Shield on to break the mana leak off, and then he can just run at Coddle directly. I think Invis equals Invincibility have a really durable lineup right now that could be hard for Dinosaurchestra to fight into, and especially because of this Abaddon.
Yeah, I'm liking their lanes a lot better in game one. They have a hero for protection for their cores, that being the Oracle, and Abaddon can protect himself to some degree. They have one guy to just be an idiot and just run at somebody in the lane, that being the Ogre. I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody, but that's what Ogre does. He just turns his brain off and runs down the lane. That's his job. And when we start getting into the mid game and everybody gets their ultimates online, Sven is going to have his war cry, which isn't his ult, but goes a pretty long way to mitigate really a lot of the minus armor that's going to be coming out of this Lardark Corrosive Haze. So I'm liking their draft thus far. They still have the oddball picks between the two, but they're picking stuff that, for the most part, goes against the Dinosaurchestra. The only real problem I see for II right now is honestly going to be the Blinding Light, because that's going to make Sven need a BKB sooner rather than later.
And we've got Warlock picked up yet again from Dinosaurchestra.
Yeah, it's a good pick. There's 3 melee heroes right there. And sure, Abaddon might not be in the front at all times hitting stuff. He might be waiting to drop it.
Granted, he could be in that. He could get hit by the ult. He can proc Borrowed Time manually while stunned to break it off, then use shield on someone else to save someone else. I mean, that you don't want to have to do that as Abaddon, but that is always an option.
Yeah, the point I was going to make is there's 3 melee heroes, and that's a big rock, all right?
Yeah, they'll be clumped up. It's not going to be ideal. I mean, Ogre is going to have to be pretty good with his positioning, and, I mean, even Oracle is going to need to stand pretty far away from these guys.
Yeah, they also have to worry about Fatal Bonds as well. Because as much as we like talking about the big old chaotic offering, drop the rock, jam it in, get a big 3-man stun and all that stuff, we never really talk about the unsung hero of Warlock, the Fatal Bonds. And like a 2 or 3-man Fatal Bonds on some key targets, such as an Oracle, is going to be pretty devastating still. With that being said, for the last ban, Invisibility, if I can't think of a better shorter name than II.
It's II, I don't know. Captain.
Give me a day. I'll come up when they ban Storm Spirit yet again. Do you really think they just despise this hero?
Dire team's
Maybe that's a pick that Dinosaurchestra values. I don't know, because Clint Eastwood did not play mid last round, and they may have a little bit more flexibility that they're doing there too.
I will say that Storm has been picked up a decent amount with Coddle in professional meta, but like you said,
5 seconds remaining.
we don't specifically know if Dinosaurchestra has anybody who's if they're mid, which was alt last game, is capable of playing Storm, and if he really would want to play Storm right now. But that's something we don't have to consider. He's gone.
Last pick for Dinosaurchestra. They do need a mid to kind of help tie it all together. Someone that can initiate. I think Invoker comes to mind. I don't know if they have a guy that can play it, though.
10 seconds
Quap,
remaining.
Puck, anything that can dictate the game and pace. And
Well,
Radiant team's turn to pick.
if you were questioning whether somebody can play Invoker, we were gonna find out.
I was thinking
Her.
Invoker much earlier in the game when I saw Stardark Coddle, Lifestealer, and then the Oracle Ogre Sven. Because one of the ways that you deal with Abaddon is you throw so much shit at him. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm swearing all the time. But you throw so many spells at Abaddon
Now.
that it makes it very difficult for him to decide who to save. And that's where you're going to find success against an Abaddon. On top of just controlling him specifically through Yules or individual stuns and slows and purges, and then he's just kind of destroyed. It's just the more control you can throw down on the field, the harder it makes the game for Abaddon, since he's supposed to be counter control, but not if you're going into excessive levels of it.
Yeah, and there's let me get off of the Invoker real quick and go to the Magnus. Last pick, Magnus, gonna be feeding the Empower over to Sven.
And
Doubling
Abaddon.
up on the cleave, huh?
And Abba. Abba's right click is pretty strong.
Man, all you ever care about is Abaddon. There are 4 other heroes on the team.
All right.
It is not a
Ogre's
show.
right click is pretty strong.
All right, stop. Only thing Ogre's gonna be doing is bloodlusting somebody, probably Sven.
Bloodlust!
Oh man,
It's
but
okay.
how do you feel
I'll
about
take
these
myself out.
drafts?
I think Dinosaurchestra has got a pretty fun laning phase, and then once these team fights start breaking out, it's going to come all into positioning and initiation. Who catches who?
10 seconds remaining.
I think it's up in the air for who's going to win. It's a 4 melee squad for the Radiant this time, whereas we saw it being a little bit differently last time.
Prepare for battle.
You know, it was Dinosaurchestra running the 4 melee cores. But I'll give us a rollout on invisibility equals invincibility. We've got Gordon Ramsay here in the bottom lane. Following up on that is going to be Comet Star on Magnus mid. Disori on the Ogre supporting this team. Previous was the Phoenix off. And then we're going to have Luce on the Abaddon.
All right, well, over in the Dinosaurchestra, we have Clint Eastwood once again playing the Warlock, Alt playing the Invoker, Ghost Pepper on the Keeper of the Light, Snow with his Lifestealer, and Matt Damon with the
30
Slardar.
seconds to battle.
So Dinosaurchestra did smoke out to the lanes. Not necessarily needed, but I think it was really just for them to make sure they can get good posture for just like how it all could kind of come out.
Yeah, I think it was half for positioning, half for safety, knowing that like if
Yeah.
something popped before they got there, and they knew to eject real quick, fall back, get some space. Nothing
Let's
really
get moving.
of value lost, just 50 gold. Got that even split going across 2-2. As we get down into our lanes.
Laning phase, do you think there's one lane that's going to have an advantage over any others? Because I do.
All right, well, since you asked me that question, it was half rhetorical. You tell me.
I want to hear you.
All right. I don't know. Like, I imagine that this top lane might not be the best in the world for the Dinos this time, as they're going to have to try to push back an Oracle and an Abaddon.
See, Abaddon can Aphotic Shield Oracle here and take off the Shadow Word if he wanted to. But I think Invisibility equals Invincibility is going to win this offlane, and I think Dinosaurchestra are going to win their offlane. Because Disori and Gordon Ramsay, although both relatively durable, we've got Matt Damon who's going to be able to crush up, and then Ghost Pepper who's going to be able to follow up with some serious blasts. So, although Ghost Pepper's trading some hits right now with Disori, I think in the overall, he's going to be able to help him pull it out. But there's lots of trading coming down here in the bottom lane right now. Disori is just kind of taking it across the face. I don't know. That's my gross speculation of the early game, but we'll see how it kind of goes.
And that's been pretty quiet so far. Just a little bit of poking and prodding here and there. Nothing really happening as of yet.
Oh, mid lane, Alt getting serious harassment out here on the Magnus, but Magnus is getting what he wants, which is all these last hits, and he's up to 10 at this point.
Yeah, he's holding on very well, which, I mean, is very reasonable. Even though he's going against the ranged hero, it's an Invoker. Invoker starts off, you know, kind of gimped, if you will, until he gets some levels in the Exort.
Look how much Loose is pressuring Snow just by virtue of right clicks. Up and boom, purged off the Shadow Ward. Clint Eastwood not able to do any sort of help with that sustain in the lane. And this is what they wanted to do. Just goodbye to your heal. And, you know, Abaddon can also remove it too. So this double purge, really strong.
I hope you weren't asking for, like, more after that. There's nothing to really
Nah,
say.
it's not really anything to say.
Like, man, there's two ways to get rid of Shadow Word. They're going to have to actually use their money. Woe is me. You know, this middle lane, though, Alt's kind of low.
Well, I don't think that really matters. He's going to be able to just continue to get right clicks here. If Magnus hits level 6, that's where we're going to see issues. Right now, I think Alt should be okay in the lane. You know, misplay death is a possibility, but
Yeah.
I don't think you typically get 1-1-2 for Invoker. You dedicate a little bit more stats out to try and have better sustain or heal in the lane.
Yeah, by the way, that everything's gone thus far, I'd assume that the only thing you know is Abaddon. Don't worry, I don't know Invoker either. And then the bottom lane has pretty much been a trade for the most part. Sure, Matt Damon is a couple creeps ahead of Gordon Ramsay, but again, aside from a little bit of stuns here and there, no real damage has been done other than Disori has absolutely no mana.
Crush bottom lane on Gordon Ramsay. The throwing out of return's fun, but Ghost Pepper's trying to channel his Illuminate.
Ooh.
Whoa, 40 HP on Sven. He's forced to hit the salve, but Ghost Pepper's able to break it. The Sunstrike not going to connect. Good on Gordon Ramsay, thinking that out, able to get back out of there.
But the damage has really been done. I mean, he's sitting around at 150 HP right now, having to limp back to the shrine. Had his salve repossessed by Ghost Pepper, who's taking another blast at Disori. And, yeah, it's going to be a lot of space for Matt Damon to hit some creeps, get a little bit of damage on this tower, and, you know, try to get a step ahead in this race in the laning phase.
Well, this mid lane has really been in Magnus's favor, and he still has a salve on him for trading more regeneration with Alt, and yeah, there he goes.
Out.
I was just kind of doing what he was thinking.
Yeah, rest in peace, Al.
I guess so. And Invoker actually ferried out a couple clarities for himself. This is a sad day if you're a lifestealer, because Abaddon's just kind of running on your face. However, this Oracle isn't doing any aggressive pulling. So, because Lifestealer has been predominantly left alone, their support has rotated off. He's getting a significant level advantage, and that's where we're going to see the payoff come for Dinosaurchestra, for Snow especially. And last set-wise, he's still doing better.
Hey, check out the middle lane. Have you ever heard of a ganking Warlock?
Yeah, I have now. We've got the Fatal Bonds out on Comet, and Shadow Word as well. Alt trying to do something here with the Cold Snap and the Alacrity for extra right click. Is Clint Eastwood going to be able to pull it out? A couple more right clicks is what they're going to need here. He uses the Fairy Fire. Oh, bottom lane, they got a kill. But, see, I think if the Fatal Bond didn't hit those illusions and hit creeps instead, I think he would have been able to kill him. But the story is really low. Crush out on the creeps by Matt Damon.
Why are you getting excited about that?
I just heard a crush and I was like, oh shit, I better say crush. Damn it.
Yeah, but we've already lost the spin down here. Like you said, kind of happened at the same time we were looking at the middle lane. I guess he died to creep since there was no first blood or anything that was in the middle of the lane. But yeah.
Man, trying to do a purge off on Snow in the top lane. And he's got his phase boots now. Whoa, that's pretty low. But he'll heal up and actually be net positive off this Purifying Flame.
He also has Infest now that he's level 6, so Snow can...
Oh, trying to return fire in here on Comet Star. Nope. Okay, well, he has RP. If he catches all out of position, he could RP skewer him under tower. With a Shockwave follow-up, that could likely be a death. Where do you think that next kill is going to come?
Quite possibly in the bottom lane, since we have 3 members of the Order.
Whoa, Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon, yeah. Seeing if he wants to head for the hills.
I think he's going to have to. I mean, no boots, Morbid Mask, fighting into a tri-lane. I'm surprised there's not a magic stick or wand in his possession. Stout Shield, anything to kind of help make it a little bit better. We've seen Oracle rotate to the bottom lane. He's going to be able to shrine up with his squad, and then maybe we could see a kill come to the middle. Comet Star has gotta be trigger happy to use this RP at this point.
Yeah, he's been sitting on it for like a good minute or so, right?
Well, level 8, he needs to put his point in skewer. Okay, no, he was just holding it. So he has his point in skewer now. Stun coming out on Clint Eastwood. We've got the Fortune's End as well, connecting on 2. Gordon Ramsay gets a click out on Clint Eastwood. The stun will be there. Ghost Pepper able to force out a huge laser to hit everybody. Tesori almost goes down. We've got the Skewer RP connecting in on 3. Gordon Ramsay coming in with the cleave hit. Sunstrike not going to connect on anybody. Down goes 1. Crush in on Mad. Mad's going to fall. They're still looking to try and find Ghost Pepper in on this mix, but Gordon Ramsay, there's the stun. It will connect in on him. Shockwave follow-up. Corrosive Haze on Ramsay will keep him in their sight. They're going to have to disengage off this. Clint Eastwood's going to come in and heal up his friends and family. And I don't think the Radiant should continue pushing this. They got to heal up at this point because... Actually, Warlock? No, they could totally murder him.
Yeah, I like this choice, and you see why they're doing it. Comstar is staying really close to Gordon Ramsay to make sure there was no Sunstrike. But with the healing coming in from Mad, when he comes back to lane, they look like they want to pressure behind their 2-1 trade.
Well, the Invoker was pressuring the mid tower in the meantime, and Tesori rotated in here, throwing out an Ignite and a stun, and all actually getting a lot of damage off on the Ogre, taking him down to about half HP.
He clicked him once.
Well, he had the Cold Snap on him, too.
Oh my God.
It amplifies
You're
it.
over dramatic, man.
Oh, jeez, whatever.
Why aren't you popping off in that stun? You know, this Ori walked in, he's done all. Oh my God, there's also a skewer. Or, Shockwave. He's still at half HP. No.
Oh man.
But since we haven't really discussed it thus far, how do you think the lanes have panned out? Who do you say has been like the winner of the laning phase?
Well, I wasn't expecting them to change the Oracle Abaddon stuff like they have, because Abaddon is just kind of trading evenly with the Lifestealer at this point, and he's not being the level of aggressive that I was hoping or anticipating from the Radiant. And because they've kind of switched their pacing up here, I mean, I kind of cheated by looking at the net worth, but I think things are going better for the Dire as a whole.
I could agree with that.
Because the Slardar has a blink. And we don't have anything like that coming out of the Abaddon. You know, he's going for a Vlad's. So, like, that'll eventually be a big deal, but not right now. And Ghost Pepper, he's getting destroyed.
He was in the wrong part of the neighborhood.
Yeah, Comet Star gets the RP off on 1. He doesn't have any additional mana to follow up in on that. Sunstrike off the mark. Matt Damon just running away. Oh, the blink at the nick of time. It was like the animation of it striking as the second he was able to blink away.
Frame perfect dodges.
Almost. Alt's pressuring the mid tower in the meantime. They'll be able to take that down, and that's a nice add of gold for them.
If you want to talk about the top lane, though, there's still the scuffle going on that you've been talking about. Snow just took Luce's borrowed time off of him while infesting a creep, so he's got more HP. Still just trading.
Oh no, Alt in the mid lane. He's going to try and kill down Desoria. One more hit is what he needs. He doesn't get it. Comet actually gets the kill. Desoria up to 30 HP. Oof, that was so low.
Yeah, this is starting to turn into a slight problem for II again. Like, the way the lanes are set up, they're getting some farm or their Abaddon, and whenever the wave pushes across middle lane, they can get some in the mid, but they can't really do anything to pressure Snow. Like, there's no way to close the gap on them right now. They're going to have to at least wait for Comic Star to get a Blink Dagger, which he's got if he wants it.
Well, we've got a Midas online on alt. So some farming will be ahead of us for the Invoker Man, and it's no surprise because he's near 5k net worth, as is Mr. Lifestealer Snow.
And with that, he's actually got a Blink Dagger queued up, which I'm cool with going against the Oracle. Like, one common thing you would see, or the common thing you would see, is an Invoker going into a Yules, setting up skills, or using it defensively. But against an Oracle, it's not really the best idea because Oracle can actually purge off Yules with Fortune's End.
Well, we got to smoke up his 4 from Invis equals Invincibility. They're going to find Clint Eastwood. Blink forward with the Skewer. And he throws out the Fatal Bond. He throws out the heal. He's going to fall, though. A couple more right clicks will be all they need. Oh, we've got the Blink Crush connecting it on 3. Deafening Blast as well. Here's the Blinding Light. Hits everybody. Loose uses his ultimate. Not really able to do anything there. He doesn't throw the shield on his buddy. He just keeps running for Everett. Oh, he gets hit with the force back. Oh, no. Blinding Light overwhelming. Snow picking up a double kill here. Also getting a kill in that. So, 4 kills down. Dire looking pretty happy.
Yeah, and I have to say the MVP of that fight, believe it or not, would be Clint Eastwood and that magic stick that he was carrying. Because of that stick, I had to overcommit. They had to take one step too far, and that allowed Alt to come down and get a full, I think it was a 3 or 4 man deafening blast from behind and push him back into the body montage that went down into the top lane. It's the small things that go so far in these fights.
Checking out that Dire Vision. They know everything that's about to happen here. And yeah, that is mad going down with Oracle. Oh no. RP connects on 2. Double strike coming out. So much damage. No. He's going to be trying to run in the trees. And Comet Star has the Empower on himself. His right click is getting absolutely phenomenal. And the toggle is good. The toggle is good. He's able to connect again. And not one more time. Rampage for all. Oh boy, that is another fight just going in favor of the Dire. Now granted, Gordon Ramsay getting 640 off of the Snowman. This Blink Invoker is ready for action.
Yeah, that was 640 coming at the price of an entire lineup. And that's something that you would call ill-gotten gains at this point.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Soldier's fortune.
They actually see Alt at the tower and they're TPing in on him. Does anybody have detection for him though? The answer to that would be no, sadly.
I think that.
Well, once upon a time, there used to be all these towers in the mid lane. But alas, it has passed. Magnus is going to have his RP in another 40 seconds. I think that's going to be a good time for them to look to initiate, although they're still grouped up around the mid lane, and, you know, a Blink Skewer can do wonders for the team.
Speaking of Blink Daggers, have we pointed out that Matt Damon indeed has his own Blink Dagger?
Oh, he's been using it in these fights. We haven't directly mentioned it, but it has been used.
Just making sure.
The Echo Saber is up on Sven. I think we saw that in the last fight as well. And Invoker's going to be going towards that Aghanims. Net worth, roughly 7k in Dire favor. Dinosaurchestra starting to pull ahead. And Lifestealer's inside the Slardar. We could see another Cursplosion of love come out of them. And with them smoked up, Ghost Pepper, Matt Damon, and Nyx in tow. They're going in on the top lane, and this could be a kill that they most certainly could need. I mean, they could need all kills, I guess.
Yeah, they see Loose in the lane. They don't know how many people are behind them though, but this could still be a prime target to at least.
They know there's 2, and they're getting kind of disjointed right now. The Ogre caught out of position. Whoa, RP though, maybe not. We got the fun stun follow-up, and that's gonna be 3, 4. Snow trying to do some armlet toggling here. Hit with the repel. He does go down. What masturbation is this ogre all about? The stun from the Sven. Oh god, he goes down. One more hit. Wow, that. Oh no, Clint Eastwood is gonna be able to get out. No rampage! Oh my god!
Who's got who?
All right, Dazori is the champion of all things baiting.
Yeah, took an L4's team, got caught in the river just so he could set up comment.
That was great setup. But if you looked at it from dire perspective, which actually was the vision that I was in at the time, which is why I didn't know it was a setup. It looked like he was out of position and it was a clean go. That there would have been nothing wrong. But they dumped too many spells, far overcommitted, and they were clumped up, and that's where Comet Star was able to catch them out of position. And everything else is history, really.
Yeah. But something that's in the present right now is the first time we've seen a green member on top of the
Fling forward from Invoker in the mid lane. Dazori gets out that stun from him. The Ice Wall connects. A nice angle to do a lot of damage. Invoker's just going to have to back out of this. Use that Midas. Get closer and closer to that Aghanims. Ghost Pepper's working towards his too, and a little over halfway there. And it won't be long until Slardar has his Force Staff online. Another 800 gold or so, assuming he doesn't die.
Well, something, I don't know if you just mentioned this, I was looking around. I honestly wasn't paying attention to you, who surprised us. Something that we haven't really mentioned is the supports and the farm of the supports in this game, where there's a pretty huge disparity between the Dinosaurchestra supports and Invisible supports. To the point of where Clint Eastwood has a Midas and has used it already. Well, he has a Force Staff queued up. I don't know if that's really going to be his item or if he's thinking greedy enough to go all the way down to an Aghanim Scepter, but that's something that will play a big factor into the mid game when you're talking about a Midas on a Warlock and just the existence of Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, Keeper of the Light is farming away.
Radiant's top tower has looked better.
And even though this Ven is sitting pretty on top of the network chart, they don't really feel the they don't feel as if they have the guns to walk in somebody. But
oh, Blink RP on one, skewering him back underneath the tower. Throws out the Tenorito. It won't be enough. They're able to take him down. And see, this is new also because Sven Blink this is basically like the real VL sorta ish. I think it was used in the fight prior to this one, but we're going to really start to see more momentum build behind this Sven, because before this, he was reliant on his entire team to set things up, aside from him just being postured nicely in the front.
Yeah.
And,
his
what?
entire team being Comet Star with the Blink.
Oracle just kind of miscommunication there, I think. He was smoked up, he ran directly into the jungle and died. Everyone else from his team bought a TP scroll and went bottom.
It could have quite possibly been a suicide warding mission.
It could have, yeah. No, I mean that's not unreasonable. He has an observe runner, and I guess they're just gonna sacrifice this tower at this point with them all rotating down here anyway.
Yeah, I don't fault them for taking a trade. I mean, they can't really fight without their Oracle. I don't think Dinosaurchestra wants an even trade. The question is, can they get there in time?
Oh, the meatball. They're able to take down that tower in the bottom lane. And Dire actually posturing around this now. Clint Eastwood, Midas ready. He's going to lead the charge because they have 4 of their ults, and the 4 most important ones, because Coddle Willis used it to bring his squad down here.
Well, since we're talking about items, guess who got their big crit stick, or at least the baby crit?
Oh, Sven, I know. He's got the crit one. The Chrysalis is going to be able to do it all. Except BKB being his follow-up item is a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I mean, he's going against Invoker, and I heard that Invoker throws a lot of spells at you.
That is a good observation, Mr. Dogysamich. Quality observation.
That being said, Slardar, less than 200 gold away from Force Staff, which will give him so much more mobility in these fights, hopefully getting him away from RPs. I don't know if we've mentioned it, but Luce over on the Abaddon has his Vlads. It's
Yeah, he's working towards an Aghanims now, and he's a little over halfway there. And they're smoked up as a squad.
How do you feel about an Aghanims on Abaddon, Mr. Abaddon
It's great.
Connoisseur?
It's great, especially since he's taking straight team fights, like 5 versus 5. The sooner he gets that out, the sooner he heals his entire team. Oh no, Ghost! No, the Fortune's End, the Skewer back, and he's gonna just get hit with a plethora of spells.
He just got shook down in the jungle for his lunch money.
Give me your 247. Give me your 247. I mean, it's more than that at 47.50, and look at all that. See, look, 35 gold for Sven to be there as an assist. You know what? That's like he's a melee creep of worth.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
Hey man, depending on who you are, melee creeps mean a lot.
Sven will take all the creeps, please. Thank you very
Radiant's
much.
middle tower is under
So the Empower on top of the Great Cleave is absolutely ridiculous, and the Great Cleave goes through spell immunity, and the damage is not reduced by armor type.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
Just value. So the cleave damage itself, not the straight strike, just slices through him. And that Empower on top of it, he's getting all this bonus cleave stack. It's absolutely hilarious. With the Echo Strike, he's going to be basically like two-shotting waves. And oh, guess what? An Echo Saber makes him two-shot. They're backing out.
Yeah, they were kind of looking at the Roche pit, thinking about it. They didn't want to just go in blind, and they go back to hitting creeps. Maybe they'll go across the way to the mid tier 1 tower. They're pinging it.
Well, Dire has vision down on this right now, and this is good because they would see if something was up. And Radiant Vision just right now only in the top lane in the jungle. Not going to be as beneficial as what the Dire would have, given the context of the importance of Roshan. But Oracle can counter ward that, and now it's a fight around the mid lane, it looks like.
Yeah, nice fight.
Rip tower.
And you know what that tower does? The tower, and a little bit of spill out gold that we haven't really gotten to, has given Magnus. Did it give him his item, or is he close to it? He's about 100 gold away from a refresher. Like, he's already got both the perseverances on deck. In his pocket.
This is going to be for like 100% uptime, more so than in a fight, because he doesn't have the mana pool for that.
Well,
Right now, at least, I think.
Yeah, they better get over to the Roche pit and use one of them RPs real quick, because it is going down.
Well, the Radiant did have vision on this. I don't know, did they smoke in or anything like that? Abaddon got the Invis rune and then walked away?
Yeah, they smoked in, the two of them, Matt Damon and Snow. So it appears that II has absolutely no clue that the big man is about to get mugged.
No, they don't. Checking out from both sides of the map. I mean, Dire is postured to defend it, except it's going to be an easy pick for them. Oh, the smoke breaks on Sven. Is he blinking back? Yes, he does, to safety. Magnus hit with the corrosive haze. Oh, Abaddon. Wow, blinding light is struck. Looks like just the disengagement as a whole. The stun connects on Snow, and we get the RP as well. Skewer back on just Snow. They push him out from the fight. Warlock Golem doesn't connect on anybody. We already hit the refresh from Magnus. He hits a couple bolos.
Cliff, dude.
What? Oh no! That is the weirdest thing ever. I've never seen that before.
Gordon sees anything. He has blank stun. But yeah, they can't get the vision. They can't catch up with him. And
oh, Sven trying to go in on Invoker. The stun connects EMP as well. The skewered back, and now just a couple double strike. He's alive. Not like this, man. Is
not
right.
like this. Oh man.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
The Warlock Golem, rest in peace.
Yeah, that was the saddest thing. Clint thought he had such a good
Four-man TP in on Dino ult! He blinks forward, the stun doesn't connect, the tree line just barely keeping it out of the lane away, and he throw out a tornado. He's not going to follow up for that. Ult, TP's out, I think we'll be okay. Yep, there he goes, back to his home.
I'm pretty sure if you looked up Space Created in your encyclopedia, that's what you would find right there.
Yup. Straight Space Created.
He said that was a 4-man TP to the top shrine. Well, the Oracle went to the bottom shrine, so that's 5 bodies that went back instead of taking objectives, or at least space.
Yeah. That doesn't sound too good.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta pick up the spare.
Oh no, Desori struck with the cold snap. Dino ult, he's got the alacrity. That's an easy kill. I feel like he's had this Midas off cooldown for a minute.
I mean, did you just see what he was doing? He was the man left behind on the other side of the.
Oh, I know. I'm just paying attention to the Midas because that's something that is important to you and you value it. And I value that you value it.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Have we talked about the value of Coddle having his Ags?
Yeah, I was gonna say that Clint Eastwood and Ghost Pepper have been kind of like dueling for equal net worth this whole game, as has Desori and Mad. They're both staying pretty close to each other, you know, comparatively speaking, of course. And this Aghanims on the Keeper of the Light is going to pay off so well for him. And the Warlock, interestingly enough, did go for Force, and more so is going for Refresher next, rather than Ags, because there's more value on just the actual stun and AoE presence than the double Golem, would be my anticipation.
Items aside, looks like we have another siege happening in the bottom lane. Really, a counter siege coming out of Ghost Pepper, making sure to keep the creeps off of the towers. They're pinging Gordon. Yeah, they know he's there.
Oh, they tuck him out of position. Oh no! Maybe who got who? Comet getting the RP skewer back on one. Slardar is actually just in a great spot to get a crush of his own. Take out 4 with that one. And Lewis is going to just be able to turn the tide right back onto Matt Damon, because that's what an Abaddon does. Takes plenty of hits from ult. That brings him back up to snuff. And are they going to be able to force him out of this? No, he'll just be able to TP home. And he has an Ags to tell from it. So Dinosaurchestra picking up 4 clean kills for just a Slardar. So 4 for 1 exchange.
Yeah, that was a fight where Sven had like absolutely no input. I think he blinked a little too close to the tower, and that's what set him off. But they were pinging him for a hot minute before they went in on the Sven. And from there, the dominoes just fell one by one. Like the 2-man RP gets one up by a 4-man Slithery crush. There's not much you can really do after that.
Yeah, well, here goes Invoker with his double Forge Spirits, pressuring out the lane, his Blink Ags online with Boots of Travel. Absolute monster at the top of the net worth chart. He's going to be going for a Sheepstick next.
Yeah, along with that, Snow on the Lifestealer just got his Assault Cuirass.
Ooh, baby, that's a lot of negative armor. I can definitely get down with that one.
Yeah, fueling the fire of the Corrosive Haze and the minus armor strategy. So, 29 minutes into the game, they're about 9K behind. Sure, you're not winning, but are you still okay as invisibility equals invincibility?
Well, this is, it's been a pretty big up and down sort of battle, I'd say. There's been plenty of times where the Radiant have been looking pretty fresh, and it all comes down to the positioning for these fights.
I agree.
Because net worth-wise, we're dipping, you know, we were up, and now we're going back down again. Although it's been a gradual descent, the way that I look at it is it could very easily go right back. And it's because RP is just stronger than most stuns in this entire game.
I totally agree with you. And I think one of the key components that II is going to need to stay in these fights is just, like you said, better positioning. Again, that last fight, in my opinion, was completely decided by the fact that it was not a 5-on-5 engagement, but really a 4-on-5 with a victim starting it off. And I'm pretty sure if they get their big RPs somewhere along the fight, that they'll easily take one. And I just also wish that they could somehow find a way to get the initiation onto the Dinosaurchestra so that they don't have to lose a casualty first. Because a lot of the fights thus far have been I losing somebody and then Comet Star coming in with a big 2-man or a 3-man RP Like, I wish that they could somehow set it up that he initiates with a 2-man or 3-man, you know? So they can have everybody, and that would be probably the cleanest 4-person or even a team wipe that they would have.
So it looks like we've got like a 2 to 3 minute pause here coming out for both teams.
Huh. Go figure. We're playing Dota and somebody paused. Who's surprised?
Well, I mean, we can look at all of these awesome cosmetics that people have, or all of these things that they would love to have in the future.
We're not so far down that we're talking about cosmetics.
Hey,
are we?
we can always talk about hats.
Oh my god.
All right, Sven is going to have his BKB online very soon. He's at 3,200 net worth, roughly. And Magnus is going to have this RP off cooldown soon. And that'll be another big fight that they could look to take. Do they have any smokes available for the Radiant? Maybe? Just like purchasable at least.
Yeah, my bad for cutting you off. I want to say that Sven probably had the money for BKB before he died, because he's been he's had it in his quick buy for a while, but he hasn't committed to any of the parts yet. So I haven't kept my tabs on him, but I want to believe that he could have purchased it at will and just chose not to yet. Again, it wouldn't be a bad idea by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, a BKB would have got him out of that scenario, but just losing the gold puts him behind to where he has to possibly and probably go risk his neck if he wants to get it any time in the near future. I mean, if he just sits and waits for the passive gold, that's obviously sitting and giving the Dinosaurchestra the chance to press on their own accord. So, not really the best decision. I don't think anything else has really come up big. We've mentioned Abaddon going towards an Ags. I don't know if you ever said that he got it.
Yeah, he did finish it. Hasn't been used to full capacity because it was picked up at the last. It was picked up at the end of the last fight with that exchange.
With the way things have been going, do you think this Ags is the big game breaker that it's always held up to be?
For the Aghanims?
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
I'm making banter here. Work with me.
Absolutely, my friend. Because you're looking at a 50% HP redirect in a 900 AoE range. That is a lot of self-sustain for him, and more so his allies. Because if they have any way to heal his friends and family, Oracle, then they got basically everything online.
All right. Yeah, the Ags will be a pretty huge component, especially since the Abaddon isn't getting initiated on at any point in time, so he'll have a lot of free reign to sit around in the back with the Oracle to put the heals and the aphotic shields onto the Sven and the Magnus as they tumble into the Dinosaurchestra. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of big note to talk about. Mad got a Glimmer Cape a while ago. We haven't really said anything about it because, I mean, that's a Glimmer Cape against a Slardar, so the most value you're honestly going to get out of it is the magic resistance. But the way the fights have been going is that if you've been caught, you're probably just done. So it is there. I can't completely write it off because there have been a couple of fights, especially in the lane phase and like breaking out of the lanes, that have been decided by people living long enough, and that's one of the benefits you can get from the magic resistance from a Glimmer Cape. But
I like that this Invoker still has this clarity on him.
Good luck clarity.
It's just for good luck, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's looking kind of useful right now. He's like well under half a tank.
Yeah, but he's just have it on him for good luck. He's had that clarity on him since like a really early game time frame, I'd say.
I mean, with the way you're complaining about it, you probably brought it from the last game.
You know, that could be a possibility. Okay.
Oh, so if you were the Invoker in this game right now, 29 minutes into the game, what would you replace the clarity with? I mean, what could be more valuable than a single clarity?
Iron Branch. Just get an Iron Branch.
This guy. And you know what really makes me upset is I can't disagree with that because you can come up with some jank juke in the trees and block the path with an iron branch. So I have to give that to you.
Best 50 gold spend. US East. What do you think Lifesteal is going to be looking at next?
Possibly a Desolator. Why? Just because he's had the casual Blightstone for a while and he might be sick of looking at it. Other than that, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty up in the air. He could always be looking at something that's more in like the Abyssal or Basher direction.
It's possible. Maybe he could also.
It's always like Maelstrom Mjolnir too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, to be the real frontliner, more so than he already is. Make it to where he's still allowed to walk at people, but they have to think twice about swinging at him. All right, you know what? It's not like I'm a tier 1 caster. I give up. If you want to talk about hats, talk about hats.
I'm not sure we got like any crazy hats on anybody here. Is this the new Keeper of the... It could be the new Keeper of the Light set, but I mean, just zooming in on Coddle in spirit form with this glorious mount. Looks pretty sweet. His horse's eyes are burning, it looks like. I think they're burning.
I'm pretty sure they're just glowing white.
Coddle's facial expression is very glazed over. Why do you think that is?
I mean, do you know how hard it is to actually keep the light throughout, like, day in and day out? That's not the easiest job.
I don't think he can keep it at night, though. So what does he do then? Is that when he rests?
No, he still keeps it. It's just, it's really contained.
Okay.
Yeah, his job actually isn't as hard at night because there's not as much light to keep, but he has to make sure that he doesn't lose it, so...
Perfect sense. His Steam keeps crashing.
Oh boy. We can't have that going now. Not with the way this game's been. This game's actually been really good. Fairly competitive game, I would say. No, wait. Where did you go? There's no way.
What?
Excuse me. There's no way that you did all that griping about looking at hats, and the only thing you want to look at is a collar.
Well, I mean, I was really kind of unexpecting of the necessity to have to stare at all of the hats and the colors. But can we talk about how the fact that this Invoker is kind of like going with the emo boy look in high school sort of deal right now?
I guess. You don't like hoods?
I mean, I wouldn't cut holes for my ears to stick out in my hood.
I mean, you should try having pointy ears. It's not like they really make hats for you. It's kind of like being left-handed. You know, you have to get specialty scissors and just a lot of assorted items for left-handed. You have to get special stuff for elves and pointy-eared people. So I don't know why you're trying to fault them for that.
Well, I'll take it for whatever it's worth. I'll take it. And he's back. Victory to the Horde. What game is this?
It's not Warcraft. Alright, somehow, some way, we are able to continue on, press on into this second game. Second game of Echo League Division A between the Dinosaurchestra and Invisibility equals Invincibility.
And we haven't seen any of that invincibility out of them just yet. Maybe the Abaddon will be the one to purvey that in the next fight with the help of his Oracle.
You know, for a split second, I thought you were going to say with the help of this Agno Scepter, because again, you seem to only care about Abaddon. You think it's like a Abaddon in Friends show, but yes, having a lot of help with the Oracle will keep this team alive, assuming that nobody gets picked off in the beginning of a fight. Nobody gets initiated on by the next bomb with the Slardar. Nobody gets picked up by a tornado, or multiple people don't find themselves under the dismay of a chaotic offering.
Well, the Radiant are just kind of grouped up as a squad of 4 farming about. Oracle went off to get a little bit of CS and levels on his own. And I think he's just going to look to kind of group up with his friends and see where they can take it as a squad. And, yeah, Lifestealer is going to be going for Abyssal.
I'm okay with that choice. Good old A-Blade, giving him a chance to lock anybody down. More specifically, a Magnus if he gets away from the RP, to make sure nobody gets skewered back into the II squad. Also, will give him a little bit of, obviously, a little bit of damage, a little bit more HP as well. So, all in all, good choice.
Invoker's going to be looking at an Octarine core very soon. Just pennies away.
Now, the one thing that we didn't say is this Black King bar that Gordon has. Picked it up about 30 seconds ago. Fresh 10 charges. He's showing it off in the middle lane. Hasn't popped it, but you know he's standing next to creep, so they do know that they're gonna have to be a little careful to either take him out completely or maybe not to engage on him specifically if they want to initiate a fight. As long as he's got the hot hands, he can keep a mishap like the last fight in the bottom lane from happening.
That is the hope and dream.
But on the other end, like you were saying earlier, we have Alt with his
Radiant's top tower
Octarine
has
core,
fallen.
so
Yep.
gonna be checking all the spells as fast as physically possible, as fast as his little fingers may.
Radiant's top
See if
tower
he's got the
deserves
uber
just
micro,
as
if you
much
will.
love as bottom.
I say
And,
uber micro, it's just slapping buttons.
Check out that Dire Vision. Dire Vision only over there. Radiant
Over there.
Radiant's top tower
actually looking
is
pretty
under
good
attack.
approaching this fight. They don't know what's up against. They saw Gordon Ramsay. However, Kato is just going to throw out his laser beams and try to keep this counter push. And they actually committed a fortify to this. I think this is a little bit of a misplay.
I don't know. Alt's down here in the bottom lane. He's already taken or in the top lane, excuse me. He's already taken the tier 2 tower, and he's hammering away at the tier 3.
Yeah, he forced back 2 rotations at this point, and we do have a 3rd and 4th coming now. And, yep, Invoker has just backed away. Snow also backed away from mid lane because he was pushing that out too.
You want to talk about fortify? I decided to pop theirs to make sure neither one of the tier 3s went down. So, you know, training the fortifications, getting a tier 2 tower, I think that's pretty good for the Dinosaurchestra.
Oh, Ramsey is chasing down Snow.
So who's going on? Oh!
The BKB, all the RP canceled, not
Yeah,
used.
pump fake. It's okay.
Nice cancel by him. And Invoker now has a present of his own inside of him.
Looking like he wants to hold on to it and maybe put a little bit of hurt. Well, I thought he was going to the middle lane. He's appearing to look for somebody on their own. He's eyeing this Hori.
Yeah, Luce is there with him. And Invoker does not see much for this. And Radiant see all, so it's good on him to disengage off this and TP to the opposite end of the world.
That's usually a safe spot.
I would concur. And I think Warlock is keeping enough gold to have buyback. Or that's what it appears to be.
That's exactly. Invisibility.
It's going to be a very gradual refresher.
Yeah, I don't blame him for doing that. In the event
Comet
that,
is invis in the mid lane. And he found Snow, and this could be his death. RP used on just him, scared him back to his friends and family. He's gonna get hit down with the bind, and the refresh used, and he jumps into a creep. Lol. EMP, binding light, Snow popping out, changing the fight. But that's gonna be 1 RP down, and he did refresh, so he'll have that ready again.
And there's everybody's kind of standing in the middle, seeing if anybody wants to regroup on anybody else. I don't really think that's the case as of yet.
Well, it might be the case. You got an EMP tornado connecting. Deafening blast, just the tip. Connects as well on Abaddon. Oh, Sven comes in with a double slice, and down goes Clint Eastwood. Also taking a quick chunk to the face, and geez, he's going to have to disengage off this. Matt Damon gets a good crush shot on two. Snow wants to try and turn this fight around, and Luce is going to do everything he can to make his allies live, and Ramsey just chucking away at Snow. And although Gordon Ramsay is just doing so much work, his supports are dying on the back end. But, whoa, Comet Star gets the RP off on Invoker yet again. They're throwing out just more heals, more love. And, oh, no, could this be the end? I don't think so. The Skewer gets pushed back again. Matt Damon doesn't have a crush for another couple more seconds. Down he goes. That was such a long fight.
Yeah, 4 for 1, I believe, with Clint buying back. Not even really needing the buyback. He bought back, but he didn't have a TP, so he had to walk all the way back to the fight. And by the time he gets there, everything's been said and done. So I guess if he really wants to use these golems, he can use them on the towers.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I don't think that's going to be too much of a concern for them. This mid tower is under some serious pressure. The double Forge Spirits there.
Radiant's middle tower go?
And, you know, Invoker back to the top lane to drop his Forge Spirits, push the lane, and Ghost Pepper's going to bring him right back. Because that's what a Coddle does.
Yeah, that's still the value of Keeper of the Light, giving people the ability to split push all those.
Whoa, stun coming out on Mr. Snow. And does he jump into a creep? No, he didn't. But he's able to do a good bit of armlet toggling, and he's able to stay alive. Desori getting the stun out on Warlock, 50 HP. He does live.
I can't believe that Snow and Clint actually walked away with their lives.
Both of them. Oh, they were just trying to stand in the laser. Then they're like, oh no, we can't heal during the night.
I told you, man, trying to keep the light at night, that's a tough job. Literal overtime for that old man. With that being said, the Dinosaurchestra are gonna take a rest over here in the shrine and maybe look to press one more time, or maybe Roshan is something that's in the back of their minds.
They're just kind of having a spa day over there, you know? Spa day. Now, Alt is going to be looking at what item? He's got a Void Stone back at the base. Oh, yep, that's a full sheep stick. That'll be coming to him very shortly. And I guess he'll be finally swapping out that Null Talisman. He swapped out his Clarity, though. His Clarity's gone. Rip Clarity.
Yeah, I was going to say, you never cared about the Clarity that got replaced by Ocarine Core.
Rip Clarity.
It did its job.
Would you like to see an Ags Magnus this game? I think that would help him with his mana problems. Because he doesn't ever have double RP for fights.
I'm like, what does it even do? Yeah.
It gives him the Empower as an aura, and it also helps his ranged. Even his ranged will have like an AoE attack, like ranged allies.
But aside from Sven, who else really needs Empower? So yeah, aside from, other than having stats, I don't think it's the most important thing in the world for him, question mark.
I don't know. Well, Luce is running up into a solo Clint Eastwood and all of his friends behind him. Comet trying to do it. No, he didn't. He got hexed out, but Gordon Ramsay jumping in on the Invoker, trying to get out as much damage as possible. Uses both his ultimate and the BKB. And he's trying to find Snow here, hitting for 156 plus 500 damage. It's a toe-to-toe engagement over there, a battle of the bulge, so to speak, but blinding light on the other end of things. And, oh, jeez, Gordon Ramsay and Snow, who's going to be the victor? It is Gordon Ramsay! Oh. Comet Star getting destroyed by his squad, though, and we've got the Warlock Golem finally going down. Desori getting hit with that mana leak. He's going to get stunned out. Gordon Ramsay, does he have a shrine to hit? No, he does not. No, blinding light down to the bottom lane. Matt Damon gets off the Corrosive Haze. They found him. One more strike will be all they need. No, it's the Tornado that will get him dead.
Oh, man, that entire fight was just people getting bounced around and kited all over the place. It was still a 3-for-3 trade. even though it doesn't look like it on the score because we had a buyback from Alt, but that buyback is one that will pay for itself as they take the middle lane of Rax, slowly working over to the top of the lane. I say slowly, that top lane is halfway gone.
I'm surprised this is not pressured out buyback out of all. Or excuse me, the Sven. But the story is probably going to go down here. Pop goes the Ogre.
Is that kind of like boom goes the Dynamite?
I guess.
I'm assuming that Gordon doesn't want to buy back because they will. Well, GG. I was guessing that they would play for the bottom racks, but I guess wrong. They're just gonna go ahead and hand the game over to the Dinosaur.
See, the way that they could take these team fights was always so strong for invisibility equals invincibility. But maybe it was just that attrition into the fight, the loss of the racks and the loss of the top racks that, you know, sealed the deal.
Well-gotten gains.
Oh boy. A little bit of the discrepancy going on in the
Oh boy.
in the all chat. Yeah.
A soldier's fortune.
I will admit that I have not been fresh up on the players' rules, but I think we're actually getting the GG. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I was actually like looking up the rules myself, and I think that because the countdown caller did come up, then that would have noted it as an official call. But that game was definitely over regardless, and Dinosaurchestra took that game decisively. A little bit of a lackluster end with how that GG kind of panned out, with like the extra minute or so of
ellipses and dots and all.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. But you know, strong performance out of Dinosaurchestra in the entire game. Really going to be the reason that they were able to take that win.
Yeah, and invisibility equals invincibility played pretty well, pretty good as well, pretty well as well technically. Just a couple of positioning mistakes here and there ultimately led to their downfall, in my opinion. But it's not like they didn't have sound strategies, and they executed them fairly well. Just getting caught here and there, getting seen in one place like that they really didn't need to, and losing a key hero or two before fight even start off really set them back time and time again.
Yeah, well, that's going to be it for this Game 2 and Best of 2 series for Dinosaurchestra versus Invisibility equals Invincibility. My name is Sky, I was your caster today, and I was joined by Mr. Dogysamich, who is also your caster today.
Oh, really? I got to step up in the title? Sick.
Well, we're just casters together, man. No one is one or what of the other. And thank you for being here with me to cast this Best of 2 series for the Echo League tournament.
Division A.
Division A.
That top tier snaz.